I don't think Eduardo Freitas is going to be particularly happy with the way they're going. We're waiting for the lights to change. It's Ivan Muller on the left, Augusto Farfus showing behind him, and the Seats take the lead. Was Rickard Rydell in front of Ivan Muller at the start line? It looked as though he might just have been a nanosecond in front, but look at the power of the Seat Turbo Diesel, David. All you can see is yellow. Farfus bunched out there. Lorini's gone past him. Lorini's gone wide. And all the BMWs are off. This bumper cam, I think, might well be Andy Prio right behind Rob Huff. We'll take confirmation of that in a moment. Stefano Daste's car goes off. There's a Seat at the back. One of the Seats is crippled, and that is Tarquini. No, it's not Tarquini. Tarquini's in front, so that might possibly be Rickard Rydell. Not sure. Let's take a look.
And his Seat.
So Rydell's there. Tarquini, Muller, Huff, Farfus has been bundled out. Lorini bundled out. We saw Janae has moved up. And there is Farfus, and that is peeled back Thiago Monteiro. Well, he didn't get a race here last year, and he's just being passed by the medical car this year. So Ivan Muller is our race leader. Rydell, Tarquini, then the danger men as far as the Seats are concerned. And Hernandez dive bumped by Coronel. Coronel's petrol Seat goes through. Hernandez having a bobble right in front of Prio. Behind Prio is Pierre-Yves Cortals. And Prio looking inside. Hernandez gets through the Pro Team BMW, and Hernandez of course doesn't care about Prio, cares about Cortals. Look at the line that Hernandez is on, way out there, dangerously close to running out of road on that final corner that already had a huge accident for Alain Menu. Jörg Muller with Augusto Farfus right behind on the driver's right as we ride with Rydell in second. Well, the Seats all got out front. Now, David, they've got to spread themselves wide across the track and stop the BMWs getting through.
But you can see straight away that they haven't been able to pull away at the very beginning of the race from Jörg Muller, who's in, we're looking now, from Augusto Farfus' car to his teammate Jörg Muller in front. And the Seats, 1, 2, 3 of them are pulling away. You've got two BMWs, then two Chevrolets of Hoff and Lorini.
And they're queuing up behind Jörg. Jörg is holding this queue up. He doesn't want to let Augusto past, but he's not quick enough, and he's going to need to let Augusto past.
I think Augusto will be pushing hard, and he will let his teammate know that he really needs to get past there rather than hanging on behind him.
Actually, before qualifying began, our reporter was asking Andy Prio, are you going to be kind to Augusto and maybe let him have a win as a wedding present? And Prio tried hard not to laugh. Thiago Monteiro, well, the tyre's gone, David. I mean, the steering arm is broken, tyre's wrecked, but it's also ripped the wing off, so they're going to have to work hard now during the race because there's no major work able to be done. Here comes Farfus inside Jörg Muller. Jörg, come on, it's the first race of the championship. Augusto's got the run on him though, so Jörg moving over is not going to shut him out. Farfus will be fourth into the first corner. Jörg moves online, and who's that?
There's a BMW, I think it's Zanardi, just come out of the pits.
You're right, it is Alex Zanardi.
Oh, and that's, is it Huff trying to go up inside?
Oh, and that's Janae.
And Menu it was coming together.
Menu and Janae battling for 8th. And both have gone off, and it looked as though Janae, although he held the slide and carried on, Menu at the back there, very slow.
He's broken the suspension,
broken steering.
Identical.
Oh, there's Janae. And this is the problem.
His teammates are taking each other off.
Huff and Lorini, and this time it's Lorini that hit Huff. Lorini this year is 6, Huff is 7. Lorini's broken his steering as well. 2 Chevrolets out with damage in about 2 corners. That's shocking. Let's have a look. Nick Lorini on the inside being over-ambitious, but he's being harassed from behind by Janae. Look, he's already got, imprints in the door, but he knocks Huff out, and Janae can't believe his luck. He's just been punted off by 1 Chevrolet, and suddenly 2 conspire to take each other out, so he picks up 2 places. You can't believe it. Prio with fastest lap of the race now. He's right in the closing up onto this little queue. Now
he should be about 9th, I would think, now at the end of this lap with Prio.
Farfus being held up by Zanardi, who is a lap behind. Zanardi has completed
he should
one
move
lap.
out of the way. He's got to move out of the way. It is Zanardi.
Well, now, of course, out of the final corner along the straight, Farfus tucks up behind his bumper. David, he's bump drafting Alex to get a good run, and Alex understands. Yes, Alex understands this stuff.
Yellow flags everywhere. There's a car on the circuit. That must mean a safety car.
Yes.
Why would you have a vehicle on the circuit without a full course yellow safety car?
Yes, safety car is out. Nick Larini is there. Recovery vehicles going out for him, and possibly, I think, also Rob Huff, who has, I will think, will have, Alan Menu rather, who has sustained probably steering damage as well. On board with Farfus, looking inside Jörg Müller. Or is this, no, this must be Prio's bumper cam then. No, it's not. That must be a replay of Farfus. There is Andy Prio behind Tom Coronel. So, all the good work of the Seats, building up an early lead, now ruined by the safety car. Ivan Müller leads as the halt and the lame of Chevrolet come into the pit lane. Now, bearing in mind how wrecked the left-hand side of Alain Menu's car was, it's entirely possible he was a bit of a passenger in that incident with Jordi Genet in the first corner. Something may have occurred that they didn't find in their one lap in morning warm-up and their few laps running round on the kart circuit. Something else that is a legacy of that accident might possibly have gone wrong with the car.
We're not sure, but certainly they've got enough mechanics there around that car looking at it, try and sort it out. We can see here all the cars now lined up nose to tail behind each other as they come across the line, weaving to keep their tyres warm, try and keep the heat in the tyres, ready for whenever the safety car comes in. They're allowed to carry on their race.
Now then, 14-lap race as Menu's car is pushed back into the garage for some proper work. 14-lap race, we can add up to 2 more laps for the first 2 laps that are under safety car. After that, you actually lose racing laps. So at the moment, we're going up to a 15-lap race because we're already in our first lap behind the safety car. And since the lights didn't go out there, well, that's the other 2 Chevrolets. Did Larini get a tap from Genet?
Yes, definitely. Genet was pushing the back of Larini without doubt into that, but only after Larini had hit his teammate.
Well, there you go. You see, now my question was, did he get a tap into Huff from Larini? And I didn't think, seeing it live, that he had.
No, he didn't do that. He got a tap after he'd already hit his teammate. That slowed him up.
When he was going very slowly sideways.
He managed to catch the end of him.
Philippe Leloup there from Orica. He's fingers crossed for Ivan Müller, his man. Now we can't see Hugues de Schonack here. He's not on the pit wall in Brazil. So Philippe is looking after Ivan Müller, our pole sitter and race leader. So just to recap, there is Müller, Rydell second, Tarquini third, then Farfus. Zanardi is lapped, but he is ahead of Jörg Müller in the queue. Then Jordi Genet now 6th, Tom Coronel 7th, Andy Prio in the points in 8th, Felix Porchero 9th, not top independent, 9th. Rob Huff still circulating in 10th. And
the lights have gone out. Look ahead, and from Rydell's car, the lights have gone out on the safety car. And so when it appears back onto the start and finish straight, which is around this next corner, as he peels off into the pit lane, then these cars can, whenever they want, now start to accelerate and along the start and finish straight. And there goes Ivan Müller. He's onto the throttle early round that corner, trying to get the slingshot, but Farfus is right behind Tarquini.
Coming to the green then, Ivan Müller restarting in the lead of the race. Rydell in second, Tarquini in third. Just enough gap to hold off Augusto Farfus for third place. Is he? Tarquini is now the Seat driver with the toughest job because he's got to protect the top 3 for Seat. Have they ever had a top 3 sweep of the podium? I don't remember one. So this is definitely in a position where they really could produce a huge result at the beginning of the season. They expected to have a little bit of an advantage here in Brazil with the altitude. There's Coronel defending 7th from Prio behind that orange and yellow Seat. Tom Coronel, the Seat Holland car, and Prio desperate to try and go inside, but Coronel's almost got 2 wheels on the grass there, so it's impossible to find an inside path. Prio in 8th place. He'd like to work his way up further though. He's not content normally to sit in 8th. 7th is 2 points, and sometimes at the end of the season, no matter how many points you've scored, that extra point that you gain somewhere or other is what makes the difference.
And just behind Prio is actually Rob Huff, who is still going. That's the last of the Chevrolets still running.
Chaga Montero back out on track after his damage, but he's a couple of laps down. That's Jaime Puig, the boss of Seat Sport. His cars 1, 2 and 3, and it's all going to come down to Tarquini versus Farfus. Looking back at Jörg Müller from Augusto Farfus, and looking forward from Augusto. Blimey, that's telling. Look, he was actually attached to Tarquini's car out of the final corner, and he's just seeing it drive away. And that, well, Seat might have been keeping their powder dry by testing on their own in the winter and by maybe not showing everything they had all the way through qualifying and warm-up. But when it gets to the race, David, you can't mess around. If you're in danger of being passed, the driver will have his foot to the boards, and that tells you everything you need to know about the horsepower advantage that they've got, at least here in Brazil at this altitude. And Charlie Lamb there, the Schnitzer boss, whose man are 4th and 5th at the moment. That's a very telling picture. And no question there'll be phone calls from Mario Tyson on Monday about horsepower and Seat and turbo.
I don't think it'll be that long, actually. I think it'll be this afternoon, to be perfectly honest. He'll be staying at home in Germany watching this as we talk about it. And there's
Franz
Exler going off. He's going to keep hold of it, keep it out of the barrier just. That was the same place that Menu went off in qualifying yesterday, last corner.
Well, he just dropped it off the road in front of his teammate Andrei Romanov. So they were having their own private little independence battle, and a good battle there. Farfus again right behind Tarquini into this final corner, and David notes how much of an inside line he's taking because he wants to make sure he doesn't run out of road in the slipstream of Tarquini. And again, here we are right behind Gabrielli at the start line. It's just like he's got another gear, changes up and off he's gone.
Yes, I mean, it's very unusual to see that in touring cars. They're just so evenly balanced when they come across onto the straights, but you can just see, looking from that bumper cam of Farfus's car, that they just do accelerate away. As they get to the end of the straight, he brakes much later than they do and is able to catch them up. Now then, second half of the race we're into now. This is where the Seat boys were saying that they were a little bit worried about their tyres. Were they going to be able to look after them as well as what the BMW guys could? They weren't terribly sure. Now then, Tarquini with that green stripe across the top of the windscreen, he's the one who's third. He's the one whose job it is to make sure the BMW stays behind, and at least 2 cars come across first and second for Seat.
I was just about to say, David, look at the way that Jörg Müller has closed the gap to the lead 4. His car is now coming to him. Bingo, fastest lap of the race. He was struggling in the opening couple of laps. He got dropped by Farfus, and Farfus now has got a move going on Gabriele Tarquini. But again, look, under power woomph, he's gone. Farfus can't get close enough to do it under braking. This is going to be a real war of attrition. And the problem for the Seat